This is the weekly sales meeting for April 28th, 2024. My name is Chris Fleming. You can reach me at chris@cdmediaconsulting.com or go to our website at cdmediaconsulting.com. Today's topic, brand-specific, platform-agnostic. Multimedia marketers in today's world face a challenge. We compete with the shiny new toy in every category, yet the basics of business marketing have not changed, nor do they take a back seat to the tactical platform chosen. In the ever-evolving landscape of marketing, a new approach is gaining traction. I would argue that the approach is not new. It has become more complicated. This is due to the wide assortment of marketing tactics now available to the advertiser. Most marketers are thinking about the tactic before the strategy, and this is backwards. It lacks the foundational strength to be sustainable. If the platform tanks or the tactic falls out of vogue, the advertiser is sunk. But when there is real strategy behind the push, the platform is only relevant to the execution. The strategy remains sound. There is something very common about all forms of advertising. Not a single one of them was invented with advertising as the main focus. Advertising was an afterthought for all major avenues of the art form. Johann Carolus is credited with publishing the first newspaper. The year was 1605, in a place named Strasbourg, that is now in modern-day France. At the time, it was part of the Holy Roman Empire, which was neither holy nor Roman. Carolus published the first collection of news stories, and he sustained this practice. However, the first newspaper advertisement did not appear until 1650 in England, and it was for some kind of herbal remedy called pills of kindness. My guess is it contains some of today's controlled substances, and it was long before Coca-Cola contained cocaine. Reginald Fessenden was a 19th and 20th century inventor and engineer. He was a pioneer in wireless communication. He was born in Quebec on October 6, 1866. He is credited with the first known radio broadcast. He transmitted a program of voice and music recordings to ships at sea on December 24, 1906. This happened in the town of Marshfield, Massachusetts. It would be years later, on November 2, 1920, when KDKA in Pittsburgh conducted the first commercial radio broadcast. This station broadcast the results of the U.S. presidential election. The candidates were Warren G. Harding and James M. Cox. You may recognize the second last name. James Cox is the founder and patriarch of the Cox media empire. Cox's political connections would wind up benefiting his fortunes. In several operating markets, he was able to control newspapers, radio, and television. This was grandfathered into the Communications Act of 1934, but that is a longer story of backroom dealing for another time. Philo Farnsworth was an American inventor. He conducted the first successful demonstration of an all-electric television system. It happened on September 7, 1927. Farnsworth transmitted an image of a straight line to a receiver in another room. It was the first electronic transmission of a television image. Fast forward 12 years, the first official public television broadcast occurred on April 30th, 1939. It was the opening ceremonies of the New York World's Fair. The broadcast contained President Franklin D. Roosevelt's speech. It would be 2 more years before television saw its first commercial advertisement. That credit goes to NBC. It happened July 1st, 1941. NBC aired a baseball game between the Brooklyn Dodgers and the Philadelphia Phillies. In it, there was an advertisement for Bulova, a watch and clock company. The commercial featured a Bulova clock and a voiceover saying America runs on Bulova time. It was one of, if not the first, TV commercials. Despite the claims of former Vice President Al Gore, the first internet transmission took place on October 29, 1969. Researchers Leonard Klenrock, Charlie Klein, and Bill Duvall at UCLA attempted to send the first message. They sent it to the Stanford Research Institute. The truth is, they crashed the internet with only 2 letters, but it was the first internet transmission nonetheless. It would be another 25 years before the internet saw its first advertisement. This distinction would belong to AT&T. The year was 1994. It placed an ad on the Hot Wired website, which was the online version of Wired magazine. The ad promoted AT&T's You Will campaign. It invited users to click on the banner ad. You can thank AT&T for that. The point of all these stories is this: all of our mass media platforms were designed for a different purpose. It was a purpose other than advertising. These platforms were designed for communication and connection. It was because of the communication and connection these platforms generate, some enterprising salesperson decided they would be good vehicles for commercial messages. Over time, we have discovered more about effective messaging. The most effective, the ones that resonate, communicate clear messages of utility. They solve a problem. They give us a glimpse of a better future, or they prevent impending disaster. They tap into a human emotional response that gets results. And the truth of the matter is the platform of delivery is irrelevant. The communication strategy for any business should be rooted in basic problem solving. This is long before the choice of medium for delivery gets selected. This strategy should be brand specific but platform agnostic. This approach represents a shift from the marketing methods of today. Most focus first on the platform and then on the message. What I am suggesting is to change your approach. Focus first on building a brand that transcends individual platforms. Focus instead on solving a customer problem, creating a better future, or preventing impending disaster caused by non-action. These are the basic principles of good business. Focus on the customers of your business client. Focus on what they provide and the utility of the provision. Figure out what that basic position is and what emotional connection we want to create. Determine that before we determine which outlet we will use. If we make doing the right thing for the customer the operating benchmark, deploying strategy is easy. It means prioritizing the development and maintenance of a strong, cohesive brand identity, all while remaining flexible about the platforms and channels used for external communication. It is about placing the brand itself at the forefront and let it guide the messaging, rather than tailoring the brand to fit different platforms. It is not only a logo or a tagline, it is the essence of what the company represents. The brand's values, mission, and identity serve as a compass for all marketing efforts. What problem can it solve for the customer? Is that a common problem or a niche problem? How can we make the brand the hero of our storyline? Once we have established the narrative, we can maintain consistency in brand messaging across all channels. Whether it is a social media post or a television ad, the brand's identity and values can shine through. Instead of adhering to a specific content format or delivery channel, this approach allows for flexibility. Content gets tailored to the strengths of each platform, all while remaining true to the brand's identity. It prioritizes understanding the audience preferences, behaviors, and expectations. The brand adapts its content to engage with different lifestyle groups. These are more important than age-specific demographics. Lifestyle group focus maintains a center point on common behaviors. Given the ever-changing nature of technology platforms, focusing on the brand and the problem it solves emphasizes adaptability. The brand's core identity remains intact, but the methods of reaching and engaging with the audience can evolve. A consistent brand message instills trust and credibility in the audience. When the consumer encounters the same brand values across various platforms, they are likely to develop a sense of trust and loyalty. This is the effective use of the media mix strategy. It is not put a little everywhere, but a dominant and consistent brand strategy against all platforms purchased. A platform-agnostic approach allows for greater efficiency. The same core content can be adapted and repurposed, reducing production costs. It is an efficient use of your time. A brand can reach a broader and more diverse audience. Different segments of the target market may prefer various platforms. A brand can be present everywhere without losing its identity. It enables brands to adapt to evolving digital and marketing trends. As new platforms and technologies emerge, that brand can experiment with them while maintaining its core identity. When a brand prioritizes its value identity, its message becomes clearer. It resonates with the audience. It's not diluted by platform-specific nuances, but remains pure and impactful. Need examples of who does this well? No surprise, they are the biggest of the big companies who market the best. Nike's Just Do It branding is consistent across television and social media. The core message of empowerment remains the same, adapted to each channel's strength. Coca-Cola, minus the cocaine, shows a brand that revolves around happiness and unity. This theme is consistent across all marketing efforts. Apple's minimalist design and user-centric approach are evident in all of their marketing materials. Whether it's a product launch event or a website, the brand's identity is at the core of the message. Marshall McLuhan, the Canadian media theorist and communications scholar, wrote the 1964 book Understanding Media, The Extensions of Man. In it, he subscribed to the theory of the medium is the message. McLuhan argued that the medium is as significant, if not more so, than the actual content of the message. But in the ever-evolving world of marketing and communication, it is the message that is more important than the medium. While technology evolves with speed, the core of communication, The message holds the power to engage. It creates influence. It can cause a reaction. It is substance over style. The medium, whether it is a billboard, video, or a conversation, is the vehicle. It is the message that carries the weight of information, emotion, and meaning. A well-designed advertisement may catch the eye, but without a compelling message, it falls flat. To connect with people on a personal level, the substance of the message must be useful and relatable. This audience-centric focus transcends the medium used to deliver the message. A clear and impactful message can shine through even in the most basic or humble mediums. The message's clarity and impact drives engagement and action. A strong message possesses the versatility to adapt to various media. Emotion plays a pivotal role in communication. A message that elicits emotion, whether it's laughter, empathy, or inspiration, has the potential to create a lasting impact. What's popular today might be obsolete tomorrow, but a timeless message can endure across generations, regardless of the outlet. Effective communication often seeks to persuade, inspire, and prompt action. A compelling message is what motivates people to respond. Whether it's making a purchase, supporting a cause, or changing their behavior, the medium serves as a conduit for this call to action, but the message delivers it. In marketing, the message is the essence of the brand's identity. It encapsulates the values, the mission, and the unique selling points. The medium is a tool to convey this identity, but it is the message that defines it. In your sales world, focus on the brand first and the problem you solve for the customer. Worry less about where it's going to be placed before you determine what it can do. Build a strong, consistent brand identity. If you establish this, you can adapt to the strengths and weaknesses of each external communication channel. This approach will put you in the trusted inner circle of your business customers. They will come to you for every marketing question, as you will be seen as the expert. You will form that unbreakable bond where customers will seek you out. You can keep up your end of the bargain by understanding all the strengths and weaknesses of what you represent, as well as what you are competing with. This ensures your place in the future of the advertising sales world. It is not dependent on the medium you represent, but the customers you can serve. It is not a trend, it is a strategy for the future of marketing. Think platform agnostic in your next sales conversation. You will find yourself selling more. My new book, 52 Weekly Sales Meetings, is now available on Amazon.com. If you like what you have heard here today, please consider purchasing a copy or two. You can always give one to a friend. Go to cdmediaconsulting.com right now and follow the instructions to order.